All right. First matter we're going to address this morning is versus Mr. Bruce Verway. That's you, sir?
Yes, sir.
I met you at your arraignment. You're here with your lawyer, Mr. Paul Gibson. And you're charged with operating with a high blood alcohol level. The file number, if I didn't say it, is 252516SD. The charge with 2 counts of possession of a firearm under the influence. Driving with a high blood alcohol level is a misdemeanor. It's punishable by up to 180 days in jail and a fine of up to $750. Requires that your license be suspended. The firearm charge, possession under the influence, is a misdemeanor, 90 days and or $100, but it requires that the firearm be forfeited. If I'm correct, the prosecutors agreed to reduce the driving charge to impaired driving. That's a big deal. It reduces the charge from a 180-day offense to a 93-day offense. Carries a fine of up to $300 rather than $750, but it would allow you to keep a restricted driver's license, drive back and forth to work. And for most people, that's very important. You can drive to work, school, treatment, court, other limited purposes, as opposed to an outright suspension. Do you understand?
Yes, sir.
Now, the other charge will require the forfeiture of your gun or guns. Do you understand that?
Yes, sir.
Did anybody threaten you to get you to plead to this charge?
No, sir.
Or promise you anything?
No, sir.
Do you understand that by pleading to this charge, you'll be giving up all the rights that you indicated there on your advice of rights?
Yes, sir.
Now, I see some promising things that your lawyer has given me. You're connected with Pivotal. And that's a plus. And looks like you're plugged into the Vicksburg AA group.
Yeah, I've been doing it since February.
Good. I've got a lot of people in our county that like Vicksburg AA, meet 7 days a week at the community center there. Some of my sobriety court folks are going over there. I knew a man, just knew him, and he got arrested and got plugged into Vicksburg AA and really liked it over there. Now you live in Three Rivers, but you've just connected with the AA in Vicksburg.
Yeah, I grew up in Vicksburg. I heard a lot of good things.
Right.
Pivotal recommended it for the moral support.
Well, that's a good start. We've also got some good AA here in St. Joe County. The biggest one is at the Carver Center, but all right, well, let's talk about this. Let me pull this up. Now, one thing I'm sure Mr. Gibson told you, if you plead to this charge, I'm not able to sentence you today. I have to set up for what's called screening and sentencing. So we'll pick a day that works for you and your lawyer, get more information about what you're doing before we do the sentence.
If I may give the court some information, the defendant, as part of his job with he works at Ox Engineer, and he's been there over 30 years, and he's actually he has to go on an overseas trip to China, and so he's going to be gone April 9th through April 20th. So we would ask that the sentencing, I guess, works around, I guess, that date period.
All right, very good.
Sounds like a long trip to me.
I've never traveled, so.
Well, you don't do a weekend in China, so my kids have all been there. I have not. Did you live in Schoolcraft at one time?
Yeah, 10 years.
All right, but now you live in Three Rivers?
Yeah. We had a house built just outside of Three Rivers.
off M60 there?
Right past the airport, yeah.
Okay,
I'm
yeah.
right in that cul-de-sac area.
Did you have that little steel one built?
No, I'm behind that.
Okay, not the big steel one. There's a
Oh,
small.
no, that's just around the corner. It's a ranch style.
Okay, there's a cool little small steel one there.
Yeah, my wife and I walked past that the other day. It's beautiful.
All right. On December 6th, in Park Township, out by the dairy farm, did you crash into a barn?
Yeah, I didn't have, I was having a panic attack and I didn't put, it's a spin knob on my truck. It's different than on the floor. I didn't put it in park, and when I let off, it rolled into it. It didn't do any damage, but
All right, and how'd you happen to be out there?
um,
Well, if you don't remember.
I
Your
mean-
Honor, we're asking for a no contest plea because he has a very, I guess you could say, hazy memory about.
All right, well, let's see what we do remember.
all right.
Were you drinking Jameson?
Yeah, I was.
They gave you a blood alcohol PBT and it was 0.233.
Yeah,
Well, impaired driving is a real gift.
yeah.
And did you have a handgun in the car?
Yes. We've been moving everything out of our storage unit and out of my safe, and I had generator in the back. I had a bunch of stuff, and the reason I was there is it's 2 miles from my house. I just got the Jameson, and wife didn't want me there, and ultimately I drove off without my keys. She's had them, but I drove off and went out there. I grew up on a farm and the cows were nice and there was no one there. And I sat there.
Well, it's stinky out there.
It is, but it's what I grew up on.
All right. All right. Sounds like you need some attention. And I saw like this was a big wake up call for you, and maybe that's all a good thing. You don't seem to have much of a criminal record. I want to look at
No,
your
I've
driving.
not been in trouble before.
Well, then maybe we're lucky that nobody got hurt and we got a chance to. No, for reasons I don't understand, there's not a driving record in here. What address is on your driving record?
Probably
School?
my son was 6, so I did get a speeding ticket. I think
No, but I mean, is your driving record still say Schoolcraft?
Yeah, I had an appointment.
Yeah,
go
you
get
need
it
to change your
changed.
address because.
I did go in and change it, but they wouldn't give me a sticker. They said, depending on today.
Well, because any mail, we don't have a driving record in here.
Yeah,
Any mail they send to your address on your driver's license.
I did change it
All right,
though.
very good.
I made an appointment, went to the Secretary of State, and I did change it, but they didn't give me the little
Well,
sticker. I got
and you're in a tough spot because you got a paper license, correct?
I actually got my real one, but
Well,
I got
did
a
the
paper
cop,
one with it.
all right, so it's there, because when you fly in an airplane, they want to see your driver's license. Now, you're going to China, so you'll have a passport also. But heaven forbid, if you get arrested for drunk driving right before you have to take a plane ride, you're in this funky paper license business. Anyway, you should be all right.
Thanks for thinking of that. Yeah. I'd like to come back.
Yeah, they won't let you back in. You'll be stuck in Guangzhou. All right, I'll accept your plea. I have enough facts from you to get the fact that you had been drinking, you were a 233, you were driving the car and you had a gun. So although you don't have a clear memory, I have enough to accept your plea. All right, let's pick a date here. We probably have to go out to May. Paul, are you available on May 4th at 11?
Yes, that looks okay.
Should be warm enough by then. What I'm gonna do is I'm gonna give you some paperwork to take out to the counter. They will get some information from you, get this for screening and sentencing after you get back from your trip. Now, the bond says you can't leave the state of Michigan. You have the authority of the court to go on this business trip. You're not gonna abscond and stay in China. So I will note defendant has court permission to leave the state.
Thank you.
Mr. Verwey, I can tell just from what I've seen that you were at a low point here. I see a person that was depressed and self-medicating. So I think we're gonna get to a better place. Anyway, there's probably a probation in your future. We'll find out more about this. I'll indicate a neat driving record for file. Court officer will take you out. You can meet with the clerk. They'll give you a date to come back for your sentence. That'll be the 4th of May at 11 o'clock.
Before the sentencing. The probation department, like, has to talk with you and do an assessment just to confirm that they have been be like, I cannot really think of